Alright guys, welcome. I'm going to show you a few things here in just a second. Let me get everything set up for it. Need to copy and paste this. That way everyone can jump into our studio here. 1 second, please. What do I want? There we go. Sorry about that. Let a few people pop in here, guys. I'm gonna open my Weeble up. I got a play for the morning that I do want to show you guys. Still can crush on this SOL play. This thing is all over the place, man. This thing makes super bank. It is so volatile. It is nearing its high levels again. We are trending up right now, but this one absolutely crushes. If you look at this thing on the 30-minute, it's holding this lower level pretty well, and it hit a high of 82. So just this little pull overnight, 82 to 72, that is just with $100 in it, a $1,000 gain. So I'm going to pull the Weeble chart up real quick. Let me open OBS and make sure we're on here. Yep, everything looks good. So let me also pull up the YouTube over here. That way we can make sure everything is streaming correctly. Give me 1 second, guys. Yep, and we're live. So go ahead and check this thing out. Everything is streaming correctly. All right, so what I want to show you for tomorrow morning is could be a blockbuster play, man. Just came to my attention. I was reading some different news, and I came across the news that Roku is going to start streaming hardware in Germany, which you can see right here. So, as you all know, Roku has had a monster year. You look at the daily chart on it, and if you want to scale out a little more on this thing has just been on a rip. $26 all the way to $491. Got a double top right there for a short. So as soon as we got rejected off this level, came all the way back down, but we are coming down to trend line support. So I want to show you guys on the 1 hour. All right, if you look at the 1 hour on this, we are looking like we're bottoming out. We do have a MACD cross. The RSI has gone from oversold to really strong ranges. We're right at a breakout point. Okay, if this can break 351.65, this can gap up to 361.12. So you know that is essentially a $10 move right at open. All right. Once we get beyond that level, even gets more interesting. You look at the 4 hour chart, very oversold. Just getting our first turn off this 336. This was just $490 not too long ago. It got absolutely destroyed with all of these different penny stocks. Okay, so these things have gotten killed. Right now, 367. I do want to show you an option that I think is very possible to hit. Now it just depends on how the market opens tomorrow, where we're at. We're at 351. I'm thinking that 365 or maybe even 370 is possible. Okay, so if you look at the 370 range, that's just right here. All right, I want you guys to see how close this really is. 370 is right in this range right there. So that is not much of a move. That is a break, a hold, and a little bit of a push. Okay, now this is 7 days away. This is very high risk, but I do want to show you how much these options were worth. Look at the 370 calls. You just go back even a few days ago. You know, this is the 20th. Let's look just on the 17th. These are worth $1,281. If we go back to the 5th of this month, 6,840 started out, went down to about $4,000 per option. Theta kicked in, 1,400, came all the way down to 497. On that one little pop we got, this thing doubled all the way up to almost $1,267. Now we're all the way down to 197. Had a little bit of a rally to 345. So looking at the chart on it, I want to show you guys the plan for tomorrow morning. So let's go back to the chart. Let's go to like a 5-minute chart on it. Okay, you can see it's right at its test point, right? You see it opened way low pre-market, 336. It's showing 336, but at the bell, this thing was at 339, and that's when you've seen the option worth half the amount that it is now. This thing ran up hard, so you can see this is on the 819. Just this move right here, I want to show you guys how quickly these move. So we're at this level. Let's go back to the options chain. Let's go back to the 370. All right, and let's go to the 1-minute chart, and you're gonna see how the day started. Let's go to the 5-minute chart, so you can see. Sorry about that. Here is the open. So here is yesterday at 276, going into the end of the day. But if you look at 9:30 open. Here's 1500 all the way up towards close. Let's go back all the way till open. Here's the close yesterday. Here's that dip. Pre-market, it was all the way down here, okay? So that very first spike of the day took this from 360 all the way to 540, just in 10 minutes, okay? Almost 80% return. Come back down, and you get the next 9:30 open. This one took it from 298 straight to 430. Now we come back over here, and we'll show you the final right here. This is where we're sitting at. So if we go to Roku, one or two things are going to happen at open. All right, we're right at resistance. Okay, 351.85, and this is 351.70. So 15 more cents. We're testing resistance. We have a little bit more at 354, which is still going to be a pretty decent gain. I think that pre-market, it's going to be down just a little bit, probably right in this range right here at open tomorrow. We can look bare bottom. It's 342. It's going to be our bare bottom. This is if it just knifes off at open, but more than likely we're going to watch for one of these levels right here, which is going to be at 345. Okay, so we have many ranges that this can come to in the morning, and also this last break point at 347. All right, so when we open tomorrow morning, which is going to be right here, I'm going to show you guys what I'm watching for. That way you're completely prepared for the entire play. So let's go ahead and snip this. And I'm going to show you what I'll be watching for. Let me drag this over here so you can see it. Open her up. Now, first of all, you're going to have your MACD and your RSI. A little overbought at the high of the day. You see it kind of curling down a little bit. The MACD up. You see it cross, curling down towards the end. Okay. Yet, no real effect on the stock price because it was after hours, low volume. So when we do open tomorrow, regardless of what it does, let's just say that this trades down pre-market, down in this range, we could get a nice pop right at open. This thing could fall all the way and consolidate on this level right here. What you're going to want to wait for is a MACD cross, okay, just like this. As soon as we see that cross, we're going to jump in on this thing. In addition to that, you do want to see a curl on the RSI, and you want to see some solid volume coming into this thing. I'm going to have the matrix. I'm going to have many things up ready to go, including trading view. All right, so we can pull our trading view up on this. We can go into Roku. You can see that this is very oversold. We'll go to all, NASDAQ. It's a 30-minute chart. Our volume looks pretty good. Sorry, let me get off the drawing and put our indicators in here. Let's put the Trader 8 algo in. You can see this thing's gotten destroyed from 483 down to 350. So now we're looking at it right here. All right, just getting a buy on the 30-minute. Okay, it's just testing its downtrend. So here's the downtrend. Looks like we're going to come up and test this downtrend right here at 354. That was that first level I showed you. So if we can break above this and hold this, then we can push towards 260, and then we can even get higher. But what I do want to show you is, look how tight the bands are on this. Whenever you see these breakouts come, they come after these bands get really tight, all right, like this. See how close these are together? Then you have this big move up, right? This is from 423 all the way to 485. If you look at the bands on it right now, they're really tight. This thing just really looks like it wants to break out. If we can get ahead of our long-term moving averages, let's scale out to the 1 hour chart on it. You can just see that it is kind of stabilizing. Go ahead and get this indicator in here, right there, okay? You can see it, double bottom. Also, if you look on the 30-minute, it had a triple top that it was busting through. So let's go all the way to the 4 hour chart, okay? This is a previous support level that we did break from. So it is still a sell signal on the 4 hour. But the 1 hour and below is all buys. We are just moving up to come and reclaim this. So I do want to break out of this downtrend, and I do think that we can do so. With the news, with the way the chart looks, you look at this thing on a 1 minute chart even. Maybe that's going to be a little too much, but let's say a 30-minute chart. Looks really good. Okay, this is the one I'm going to be watching. At open, I'll have some lower indicators in, and I'm looking for a break on this, guys. So jumping back to the Weeble chart, we're right at it. So we can either break directly out of resistance at open, trim at 354, see if it holds this as new support. So this is going to look like this. If the opposite happens, all right, and we do not fall at open, let's just say if we do not go sideways at all, and then it pops at open, say it holds up right here, okay, does not fall at all at open. Most of the time you get that morning dip, okay? It's a matter of finding that support, getting your cross, getting your turn on the day. So say that doesn't happen. Say right out the gate, The NASDAQ looks strong. This holds these levels pre-market. It just turns and breaks out right out the open, okay? So this way, once you get to that 354 right out the bat, say you buy 3 contracts right here, take one out, take 2 out if you want to, and hold a runner. I would hold this runner all the way through the break point and beyond. What I mean by that is allow this to come all the way back to your break point, see if this level holds, and see if it turns and bounces off that level. Now you could let this thing ride out potentially all the way to expiration or close to it, okay? Because this does have big time upside. We can trend up all the way towards 361. You look at the 30-minute, we can go ahead and clear this entire chart out. This is our price target right here, okay? So I'm going to pull our price target out. We do have 7 days to get there. So it's going to be right at this resistance point. All we're going to have to do is push, and then within the next 7 days, trend up and just get to this line right here. If you want to look at the last time we were at 371 and go to these calls, okay, so let's go back to the options one more time. Let's look at the 370 calls. You guys seen what date that was, right? That was on 8/13. So 370 calls on 8/13. We're going to come straight back, go 30-minute. Let's go to 8/13, and these were worth $1,475 a piece, okay? Now that is a big move. So if we get the dip and we can get it close to 200 to 250, then push towards that level, even better. But if it turns and breaks and holds, we can easily push back up towards 645, which would be right at that first price target. If we break that, 886. If we break beyond that, it can go higher. Now, there is time decay, there is theta. We are 7 days away from expiration. It's not going to be these exact numbers, but I can promise you, if you buy a $330 Roku call, okay, and this stock cost, forgive me, this just moved on me. This stock cost a lot of money, so let me X out of this. This is a $351 stock, so a $330 premium, and this thing goes in the money. This thing is still going to be worth a lot of money, so definitely keep your eye on this, okay? We did grab Clean Spark at close yesterday. We bought it right down here at support, right at this 1064, 1070 range. We did get a decent little pop after hours. If you do, and if you have had followed Bitcoin over the weekend, it's looked pretty strong. We had 50,000. We're still above 50,000. You look at the 30-minute chart on it. We bottomed out on Friday, and we've just ripped since then. Clean Spark is going to be producing 28 Bitcoins per day. So the rest of our watch list from Friday did really well. T with that news made a 500% move from bottom to top. Spotify just took off right at open for an 800% gain. And then there's a lot of other things that we're going to be watching. So I'm going to be live tomorrow morning, and you guys are going to be able to follow along with everything that we're buying and ready to roll. Okay, so be ready at 8 a.m. I'll have more watches out, but Roku should definitely be up there as one of the top watches. The chart setup looks amazing on it. If you look at the 30-minute, it just looks like it's ready to go. Okay, you can look at this right here. We're right at that break point, so I'm looking for this to break, hold, and push straight to about 260, and then we'll determine what we do at this level. Okay, I definitely expect this thing to potentially make a $9 move. I know it's a gutsy call. Obviously, we do have some resistance at 355, which will be our first PT. Second PT is 360, and third PT is going to be 366 to 370. So keeping your eye out on Roku. I think it has a chance to be a blockbuster trade and something that everybody needs. Okay. UAVS made a big move yesterday at open, kind of trended up all day, fell a little bit at close, popped a little bit after hours. This thing is also beaten down to death. It does not look like a coincidence to me that the level that it's bouncing off of is the exact same level that it broke out of the wedge at. Okay, if you look at this long-term wedge right here, this is it. All right. So you can see this right here very clear. If you want to come to the bottom of the wedge, you can. A lot of people, draw their own version of it, but typically you can come towards the bottom and just come straight across to show you how tight the wedge is getting. Okay, so volatility, real tight, broke it, gapped all the way up to 1768. We have since sold off all the way at the bottom. But if you take this break point right here, right at the break point, that is exactly where it's bouncing now. So if this level holds up, this one can easily go back to 438 all the way up towards 550. Okay, so be watching these as well. The Russell index has gotten smashed as well, and there's going to be a lot of others like that. Okay, just like you guys know, we've been averaging in as low as we can on skills. Had a nice big pop on that news yesterday, kind of faded off in the day, but it still hold decent levels. That had news on that Trivia Crack franchise, where it's one of the most popular games in the world. It's going to be exclusively on the skills platform. So what really got my attention on that was how many countries and how many people still download it to this day. So if they revamp this and make a new version of this, I can imagine it's going to be popular because the old version still has 125 countries, 600 million downloads worldwide. Okay, now that is a ton. So skills has gotten crushed over the last 3 months. It's been shorted to death, 18% short interest on this, almost at NAV price from as being a SPAC. Now I don't believe it should have went to 46. That was mostly off of Kathy Woods and a lot of FOMO buyers in February on growth stocks. But it has since fallen pretty hard. I do think it's going to chop in this range right here between 10 and 16. So you can still take advantage of these trades until this thing can break out towards 2025. So we're going to get the rest of our position on this soon. We just been kind of waiting for the Fed news on whether they're going to taper or not. And if you want my personal opinion on that, with the Delta variant out there and with all the uncertainty going on right now, I don't think that they should start tapering yet, because there's too much uncertainty and too many variables with the Delta variant. So say if they do start tapering and the cost of everything starts to rise, and then the Delta variant starts spreading, and then they're just going to have to go back to right where they're at to try to grow the economy. So it doesn't really make sense to do it yet. Now I feel like a lot of this is priced in. Whenever tapering or inflation fears come, growth stocks sell off. It's no coincidence that as soon as they start talking about it, it went from 25 a share all the way to 10 in the last 2 months. So even if they do start tapering, it's still lost more than half of its value in 60 days. So beyond that, it's down like 78% from its highs. So I still think that this one has a shot. If you guys look at the last article that I showed you on it, it is a good article. Skillshares misaligned with its Q2 revenues, because its revenues was great. It had 22 consecutive quarters of gains, 52% year over year, 89.5 million, a company record. And then they have zero debt. They just got a partnership with Exit Games, bought a good share amount with this company, and now they have the Trivia Crack coming back in. I think all signs point towards people are going to look back at this trade and be like, wow, like I cannot believe I didn't buy skills at nav price. I think they're really going to regret it, because selling covered calls on skills at $25 costs more than your entire position for 100 shares it costs right now. So I think now is the time, but I'll have you guys ready for that. We've already started averaging into it, and we're going to see where it goes from there. But I'll see you guys pre-market tomorrow. We're going to be ready to go. I want to make some money tomorrow. So hopefully I will see all of you at open. I'll be live, ready to roll for that Roku play. Hopefully you guys join me on that play, and let's go. So have a great night, guys. I'll see you first thing at